The world needs a price on carbon. Ontario's cap-and-trade system is a step in the right direction. However, cap-and-trade mechanisms elsewhere, such as in Europe, have not always been as effective as hoped at lowering emissions production, in part because the price signals sent to consumers may not be strong enough to change consumer demand and influence production. If consumer prices do not increase enough, consumer demand may not shift. Even though energy prices in Ontario are high, they are likely to remain less than in Europe for some time. And some carbon-intensive products like red meat are also so embedded in our culture that they would have to increase in price greatly and rapidly to produce broad and sustained shifts in demand. And those most likely to be influenced by marginal increases in price are low-income earners, and that hardly seems fair. Moreover, the cap-and-trade market applied only to producers and large emitters does not effectively provide information to consumers about the carbon intensity of their consumer choices, resulting in a kind of environmental alienation of the consumer. But what if, in addition to the cap-and-trade system for industry, we also provided to individuals a real-time consumer information system and real-time economic incentives to make low-carbon choices? What we're proposing is the Greenable Green Credit Platform, which will be deployed on mobile devices. It will track the activities of individuals, calculate the carbon intensity of those activities, and with the cooperation of government, assign to the user a real-time monetary reward proportional to the carbon conserved. So if I ride my bike to work or reduce electricity usage, I will receive a monetary reward for that. In addition to these cash rewards, the system will be linked to social media. As people earn reward points, their reputation increases on leaderboards across social media, allowing users to compete against each other for rewards and for green reputation. The final component is a consumer information function, which provides consumers with real-time environmental information on products, services, or activities potentially at the point of sale. This will ensure that users make informed consumer choices. So, what are the advantages of assigning a monetary credit to individuals for green activities? Well, the cap-and-trade mechanism works in part by changing user demand through negative incentives in the form of increasing prices. As we've said, this is unfair to low-income consumers. Instead of a negative incentive, the Greenable platform provides a positive economic incentive, which in some cases can have a larger effect on consumer behavior compared to relatively low increases in price. And positive incentives are much more fair to low-income consumers, who are more likely to be affected by marginal increases in the cost of goods. Now, the Ontario government already has positive incentives in the form of tax rebates and a variety of subsidies to consumers. While there certainly is a place for these programs, one problem with them is that there is considerable latency between the consumer activity and the reward, which can be 12 months or more. And that's really not a very efficient way to change consumer behavior. The Greenable Green Credit Platform will greatly improve the economic and behavioral impact of positive incentives by issuing real rewards in real time. You know that if you take your bike to work, you will get a monetary reward when you arrive. And individual rewards, they don't have to be large. Like air miles or other reward programs, consumers know that rewards add up, and collecting them becomes a game in addition to chasing the dollars. So positive rewards linked to individual consumer actions, they're also important for mitigating rebound effects. These effects occur when people receive monetary rebates and subsidies, but then use the extra money to spend more on activities that we're trying to reduce. Generally speaking, if you give someone a utility rebate, they will use some of it to pay for more usage, and that's not what we want. But the Greenable platform avoids this by linking monetary rewards directly to each instance of a consumer activity. So cash rewards don't allow me to drive more because rewards themselves are generated directly by driving less. It makes rebound much less likely. Smartphone technology now allows us to track individual activities with great accuracy, and a variety of new financial settlement technologies allow us to transmit small amounts of funds quickly and efficiently. So with the right development support, we can provide these functions. But of course, what about the money? Where will the funds come from to pay for these rewards? Well, one answer is the cap-and-trade revenues. In Ontario, the cap-and-trade program is expected to generate about $2 billion a year, and the government has to decide how to reinvest these funds back into the economy, whether as green development or subsidies to consumers. We would like to ask the Government of Ontario to consider allocating some of the cap-and-trade revenues toward the Greenable reward system, as this could dramatically increase the efficiency of this market, while serving as a form of wealth redistribution that protects low-income earners, without the perverse incentive, mind you, to use more energy. But the Greenable system is not just about greenhouse gases. Cell phone data could also be used to track water usage or a reduction in red meat consumption, and these rewards could be issued for each of these. With the right policy support, individual offset credits across a range of environmental outcomes could also be bought and sold between individuals, just like the industrial cap-and-trade market. We now have the technology to validate individual acts of environmental conservation, to measure their value, and assign to them real-time credits of value, which can be bought by other individuals to offset their consumption. We believe that including end users in the market in this way completes the market-based approach to the challenge of climate change. Ontario is already a world leader in environmental action, but here it has a chance to be really the world leader in end-user behavioral change that is fair and economically stimulating.
Thanks, Will.